Hello there, everyone. You know who I am, ETTemplar, Supreme Misfit Professional Dipshit. Before we get into this review, special thank you to the fleet captains, supporters, and commenters of this channel, and special thank you to viewers like you. So let's get underway. Is Boy Kills World rather worth the watch? And I think it is, and we'll get into it. So the plot of this movie is about a boy who's in a post-apocalyptic authoritarian nation that feels and looks like it's some kind of like feudal shogunate, if I'm saying that right. Excuse me. And it's ruled by a family called the Vanderkoys. This nation every year has something called the Culling, which enemies of the state are publicly executed or put on some god-awful like movie TV set where it's almost like a gladiatorial game.
Delirium, a confused mental state that may result in imagery that clearly can't be real.
But the main character, Boy, is deaf and mute, as what I think as a result of him seeing his family brutally murdered before him. He was spared for some reason, and that comes into play later in the movie. I'm not going to spoil anything, but Boy, his character doesn't really speak because he's mute. But in his head, we hear the narrator, and that narrator is voiced by H. John Benjamin of Bob's Burgers.
I just gave her the middle finger 5 times because it's all 5 fingers at once. Try it.
That was my sister. She wasn't scared of anything. Not even Hilda Vanderkoy.
Archer. So this movie is a must-watch if you love John H. Benjamin's voice acting. And there's tons of action, like fighting action, gunplay. So there's tons of action to be had. So is this movie worth a watch? Definitely. The world that the story is set in is fascinating. They don't really tell what like the post-apocalyptic situation was, but the set design and everything's really cool. And I think it takes place in a post-apocalyptic either Hawaii or Southeast Asia country. It's pretty fascinating. The gunfights and hand-to-hand combat scenes are amazing and brutal. So if you love action and violence, is your kind of movie. So I love how this movie just tells a story. I didn't detect or see any political undertones. It's just a story about revenge and set in an interesting world. It's directed by Maurice Moore, and the acting was pretty stellar by everyone involved. There should be a PNG on screen if you want to see the names. This reminded me of Man with the Iron Fists or some other. It has like that martial arts feel of a martial arts movie. It's technically an action comedy. It's fun, entertaining, and well above average film, I think. If I had to give it a out of 10 rating, it's 7 out of 10. And it's been a long time since I've seen a movie that was just about entertaining people. And this action comedy has tons of violence. The art design, everything about it is really good. And I think Bill Skarsgård is the young character that plays Boy. If I'm mistaken, someone could correct me. Does a fine job. So it's over the top camp. It's not as bad as a Quentin Tarantino movie. This movie kind of knows what it's doing, and it's not that ridiculous. Like when it comes to the violence, in my opinion, the violence is pretty well rounded. That's just my opinion though. I've seen a lot of fucked up movies, but compared to a Quentin Tarantino movie, it's not as bad and it's not as gratuitous. But that's from my level of understanding. So Boy Kills World is just a great film. If you need something to watch, I saw this on Hulu. And I was pretty blown away by it. The Vanderkoys, it's a very cool post-apocalyptic setting, and the town's still overgrown. You can see that there's evidence of some kind of post-apocalyptic like situation that happened. But the way how this movie was just shot, acted, the set designs, the action, it's fantastic. And there's a few twists and turns in the movies, but But other than that, again, I can't stop gushing about this movie. It's pretty damn good. And like I said, at a 7 out of 10, it's well above average. You will be entertained. And it's pretty top notch. I like, again, this has to be prefaced, where a movie is just a movie to tell an interesting story, to make you laugh, to be entertained. And through the action of this movie, you will be like, are you not entertained? You will be. And my only negative is that the gun stuff is kind of campy, with like CGI muzzle flashes and stuff, but that's not going to bug anyone. That's just like my one negative about it. But other than that, this film is top notch. And I can't recommend it enough. If you need something to that'll hold your attention, keep you entertained, Boy Kills World is pretty up there. And like I said, with the voice actor from Bob's Burgers and Archer, it just adds special flair. And not only that, he sees his younger sister. I think he's still suffering from like psychological trauma, but he sees his sister like as hallucinations, probably as a result of some form of like unsolved trauma. But it's just a fascinating, interesting movie, and that's all I got to say about it. Top notch, 7 out of 10, way above average film, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. See you next time. Have a good one.